you like that as a leech. It was great.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether to take leech or whisper, but whisper kind of won me over in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are you starting with for Whisper?
I took compel just because I wasn't really sure. I thought maybe Ghost Mind was the other one I thought about, but as it makes more sense kind of character-wise. But a compel it's generally more useful, I think.
Compel. Oh, is that Oh, that's a cool one. I like look at
Yeah.
Tempest, to be honest.
That was the
That's
other
pretty
one.
that's pretty standard.
Yeah.
Um.
Let's get started.
Oh,
Alright.
just I didn't fill my friends thing. I know something different with that, but I can't. What was it? What was different about that? Yeah,
Uh,
friends and like rivals.
yeah, we'll get after that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we'll do a little special thing for that. But yeah, we're gonna get into the War in Crowsfoot. But first, let's go over our characters and decide, well, what side we're gonna fight for, right? Um,
All of them.
all of them. Yeah, I mean that's an option also. Do that Yojimbo thing.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so who's first? Who's Bandino Albertonibus?
Yes,
Well,
Bambino
listening.
Albertonibus, a southern Acros from Southport, which I don't know. I kind of imagine it as like Italy, Southern Europe. So it's kind of where I got the idea of the character from. Should I do it more in character or out of character?
I mean, yeah, we're just discussing. Yeah, just let's go through the character creation list. So I've got like a little frame for getting after that. I mean, we're not creating your character, but you know what I mean. Sorry, here we go. So, what kind of playbook do you have, Bandy Boy?
I took a Whisperer because I don't know, summoning spirits and stuff. That sounds really cool.
And Heritage Akarosi. So you're in the Empire, so to speak.
Yep. Southern Acros, but still Acros.
Born in the Empire, yeah. Where are you? Are you from? Are you from the Dusk or elsewhere?
Yeah, I can imagine the character coming from Southport, so that's if I remember the map correctly, it's the port closest to Aruvia.
Oh yeah, you said that. Yeah. So you said like Italian, Southern European thing?
Yeah, I imagine kind of more Southern European society, but I'm not sure.
So give me some bullet points. What exactly you mean by that?
Right. So I imagine it's very much a trade city. Lots of because then it's kind of closest to both the Dagger Isles and Aruvia. So there's a lot of stuff kind of coming up north. Lots of like spirit artifacts and stuff from various things from the Cataclysm being brought up to collectors up north. Basically, goods going up north, money coming south. And Bandino was he came from kind of a middle class family and became customs inspector for the Bluecoats in Southport, or the Bluecoat equivalent, I guess. And he studied kind of, I forget what the exact term is, but whisperdom and magic rather, and that he mainly checked the luggage coming up north from Aruvia just to check that it wasn't demons or anything, or artifacts of elder gods come to destroy the empire. However, he was also one who very much looked the other way if enough was paid.
Okay.
So, not exactly the most virtuous of men, but
So you said you studied Whisperdom. Was this like, I mean, were you like an Imperial employee or something?
yeah, I think he was an employee of the empire. I'm not sure exactly and as I said, this is the first time really playing Blades in the Dark, so I'm not sure how exactly you become a Whisperer. I imagine that there's a school or something that they can go to as well.
Um,
But
I mean, yeah, the world is broken, and spirits, the gods are dead and forgotten. Spirits and demons run rampant, so people can become whispers all kinds of ways. I kind of like the idea of being sort of like formally trained.
Yeah, so I kind of like the idea that he's formally trained, and if once he comes into contact with whisperers who they've just kind of learned it on the street that there's going to be some tension there, just like, how are you doing that? I didn't learn that way.
Yeah.
Type stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So, okay, so that's your heritages. Okay, so your background we already covered. Also, law, customs inspector. So, I mean, you were shady, apparently. You would look the other way if paid enough coin. And how did you have a fall from grace? Did you get caught? How did you end up?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Kind of a fall from. I imagine, it was kind of a fall from grace situation. I took. I'm kind of jumping ahead, but I took as my rival. I took Flint, who's apparently this guy who moves around artifacts in Duskfall, and I imagine that I kind of called the bluff on a bribe. I asked for more than I should have, and I ended up searching the shipment, found something I shouldn't have, and then Flint, using his contacts, perhaps contacted the smuggling group in Southport, kind of just generally ruined my life, got me kicked out of the Bluecoats, tried to stab me, and then I took all the money I could, and took a train up north where there's apparently lots of money coming to Duskfall. So,
okay.
And Flint lives there, so revenge and money.
So he took all your money, tried to stab you, and are you like, did you follow him here to get revenge? Or you just kind of ended up here because this is where people on their last ropes kind of end up?
I think it was more that this is a place where people kind of end up when they don't have, when they're on the last ropes. But revenge is definitely a factor.
Sure.
The bigger factor was actually getting money, but I think if he gets the chance, he'll try and get some revenge.
Okay, and well, that tells us how you came from being a mildly irrespectable servant of the Empire to a murdering blood fiend, or whatever you are now. So you started with some Mattoon, and I think study. Is that right? What dots you started with?
Study.
So you picked up some finesse, some consort. So you deal with ghosts. What's the special ability you chose? Let's talk about that.
I took Compel because it's kind of suggested as one of the beginning abilities, and also I really like the idea of being able to actually use ghosts, the spirits of people that die and everything, to try and terrify the living, because that's fun. And also because I thought kind of the background, once you find something occult in like some Eruvian luggage and it tries to murder you, you should probably have the skills to be able to subjugate it. So
okay,
it can make sense character-wise in my mind.
So that comes from your training. In case you find a ghost in cargo, you need to be able to control it.
Exactly.
So, well, we talked a little about Flint. We'll get back to him, but let's talk about your close friend first. So, Quellen.
Yeah, Quellen, kind of, this is also coming in with my vice and everything, but Quellen is like a witch of some type. So I thought, since my vice is an obligation to a fencing school, is there kind of, when I came here with like no money, knowing no one, I just came to like a Southport fencing school, and I ended up just kind of getting a bit of money doing finances, everything for them, just because most of them are fairly literate immigrants. So I kind of handle all of the stuff that needs learning. And Quillen knew the school, and I got in contact with her because people get injured while fencing, and she heals them, and I have to handle the payment, and I got to know her, and that's kind of how we met.
Okay, so Quellen is contacted with the Red Sashes, connected to him.
Alright.
Okay, so the
Can I
first...
say about noise? Oh, it's gone. No, it's okay. Sorry.
Okay.
Just like a...
Oh, I know what it is. Give me just 1 second.
Oh, it's cool.
Sorry. Air conditioner started blowing. It'll go off in a second.
No problem.
Okay, so Quellen the Witch. One thing we add, since we're doing the weird Blood Alley thing. I mean, you can do that link. It's just to the rules doc. We actually, on your character sheet, you have some individual faction status. You know, like how if you've ever played Blades, you have a crew, and usually your whole crew has status with certain factions. But since you guys aren't really a set crew, and you kind of work for the crews and move around them, you have your own status as an individual, right? You have to get your name out there as a scoundrel for hire. So it's about on that doc. It's about page 2. Bottom of page 2 is where it starts. The character creation's all the same, so we don't have to redo anything. But when you talk about your friend and your ally, we're going to talk about your status with some factions. To start with, your friend played a crucial role introducing you to life on the Red Line, vouching for you with a faction. So you mark 1 coin on your character sheet. It starts with all 4 of the coin dots filled, but we'll just start with 1 coin in your pack. And I don't know if we've used the Roll20 character sheets before. These are pretty snazzy and they have multiple layers. So if you see where you wrote Whisper, or where you wrote your playbook, just above there's a little gray box that says Character Mode. There you go.
Ooh, wow.
So this switches it to the crew mode. Now you're not a crew, you don't worry about claims and stuff on your sheet, unless we get to the prison. But if you see those tabs at the top, it says Crew and Factions. So if you click Factions, yeah, it'll bring you to your factions list. This you will use. This will represent your individual notoriety with factions. It'll be positive and negative. So, but to start with, your friend vouched with you for a crew. It sounds like you've got one in mind already, which works. But you can choose another if you want. It's whatever crew you want. They vouched for you with that crew, and you take +1 status with them, or you can spend your coin, your 1 coin you have, and take +2 status with them.
Right. I think I'll just take the +1 for now.
Okay.
So then it'd be with the Red Sashes, I guess.
Yeah, sounds like that's what you had, yeah. So, yeah, there you go.
There we go.
And they are tier 2 weak hold.
Okay.
Piece of cake. But, so Quellen talked you up for the stashes, and you've got good contacts with them. And am I going to forget about that? I probably might. Let's talk about... So there's this Aruvia connection, apparently, with you, Brandino. So, I mean, you worked down south dealing with Eruvian imports, apparently, a lot. Right? That seems to be a connection I'm making. And now you're friends with this Quellan person who got you in with the Red Sashes, who are mostly not mostly, but a great many of them are the children of Eruvian nobles.
Right.
And yeah, they're deeply connected with the Eruvian consulate. So are you like, do you have a history or some kind of like explicit connection with the Eruvians?
I'm not sure if it'd be explicit. It's more that I've had dealings with Peruvian noble families before, probably taking bribes mostly, when they want something brought up from the homeland and they don't want it looked at.
Yeah.
Yes, I guess it makes sense that that I've got a positive connection with the Peruvian consulate.
Okay, we can get back to that. I just wanted to know like how deep that connection goes, right? But we can build on that for sure. But let's talk about your rival again, Flint, who once tried to stab you. We talked about Flint. He's a spirit trafficker, and not a nice person. But he has beat you here, right, by some stretch or whatever. And when you choose your rival, they have smeared your name, your bad name, with an influential crime lord. And you're going to take -2 faction status with them, or again, you can spend your coin from past misdeeds to make it just -1.
Right.
So who did Flint talk bad about you to? Talk bad about about you?
Look at the factions.
Oh, sure.
Maybe, and the Crows would be a bit obvious. That's just one of the other Crowsfoot gangs. But
I mean, something Imperial could be it. Like if he sold you out, right?
yeah, that actually makes sense. Maybe not the Blue Coats, but something like.
I was thinking one of two things make a lot of sense. Either the Inspectors, which you were a part of apparently, right?
Yeah.
Or the Spirit Wardens.
I kind of like the idea of the Spirit Wardens, that it's like, oh, this foreigner here.
Yeah.
That if as soon as Flint tells them, oh, there's this foreign guy who just came up south and he thinks he was like sold out and he endangered the Empire. I think it really makes sense that the Spirit Wardens would immediately say, yep, screw that guy.
I gotta add. I haven't added the Spirit Wardens to my characters yet, to my crews yet, but I have to now, and I have to add Flint as a contact for them. He is a sellout for the Spirit Wardens. No, it's great. So Flint, Spirit Trafficker, and just put a note on here. Flint is an informant for the Wardens. Yeah, and that makes sense for that bastard too, because if he sells you out and puts attention on them, right, puts attention on you, he can traffic spirits. He can be like a little cleaner. So what do you think? You're going to take -2 with them, or are you going to spend your coin?
I'm going to say it's -2 because he also said, I was him trafficking spirits. It wasn't me, guys. So.
Perfect. Good. Fantastic. Okay. Let's go down to your vice then.
Right. Back to character mode.
There you go.
And obligation. My vice is obligation fencing school. So I kind of imagine it as I'm the person who has to manage finances, who has to keep a record of who's actually paying, who's not paying. Make sure people who aren't paying pay up. Make sure minor gangs and everything either get their bribes or are told to fuck off in the nicest possible way, with ghosts and shit. And basically, I have to actually make sure the fencing school stays together because kind of the focus of, I imagine, at least. You can interrupt me if I'm getting above my boot, too big for my boots or anything. But I can imagine the fencing school as kind of the focus of the little Southport immigrant community, and it's kind of the place where people go to, hang out. And I kind of feel that I need to. No one else can really do it because they probably don't have the kind of education for it. And secondly, I kind of enjoy it, even though it's stressful as hell.
Yeah. I think it's a little more exclusive, but they do take applicants all the time. I mean, you have to be a member of the school to pay your dues and stuff.
Yeah.
But they do want those dues, and you're not necessarily going to raise up in the ranks or be used as anything other than cannon fodder, right? If you're not very good, but no, I like that. Yeah, helping run the books for the Red Sashes. Now, with your vice, the wording is going to be a little weird, but anyway, when you choose your vice, again, we do some faction status things. You have a preferred vice, which is your obligation to the fencing school, and you have a location, and your purveyor as normal. Which, I mean, if it's the fencing school, also, you could put my Lara Clev, but the Red Sashes in general is still fine.
Okay.
But you've had some good times with the members of a faction, and you can take +1 status with that faction. This, again, could be Red Sashes again, or it could be a different group related to the Red Sashes.
Right. I imagine it would actually be the Bluecoats or something, because maybe kind of through because they actually now have someone to help with the books and everything, that kind of helps reduce how to word this. I imagine that the fencing school is kind of helping to also keep crime organized, which the Bluecoats like. So organized crime is a lot better than disorganized crime, where people are breaking into shops and stuff. Whereas organized crime will inform the Bluecoats in the right time and make sure they get their payment, so nothing, so they don't actually have to go there. They can ignore stuff. So I'm probably also one of the people who talks to the Bluecoats, since I've come from a law background, and I'm kind of the go-between between the Red Sashes and the Bluecoats there.
Okay. Yeah, I think we need to walk that back a little bit. I think it's good for you to be a contact with them. Now, the Red Sashes themselves, as it stands, have a -2 status with the Bluecoats.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The Bluecoats do not like the Red Sashes, but the Red Sashes mostly run on beating people up, right? Extortion and stuff.
Right.
Which the Bluecoats have to hate on face, because they're like, oh, we have to keep order in the streets. But underneath, they hate that because that's our fucking job. That's our running. But you would be a good contact running books and making it look legitimate, like this is our guy who can turn them into somebody useful, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I think that's still a good idea for you to have the status with them.
Okay.
You know what they say, Sam? Stitches. Oh, fuck, I already fucked it up. Snitches. I'm done. No, you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying.
I get what you mean. I get the spirit of it.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, you got a +1 status with them, but the undercurrent there is, hey, we could probably totally turn this guy into an informant for us against them. So you can add the Bluecoats as a +1 status.
Okay.
Now, the second part of that is once while on a bender, I don't know how you go on a bookkeeping bender, but you can, you had a run-in with the members of a faction. So you get a -1 with another faction for your work with the Red Sashes.
Right. The Red Sashes are at war with the Crows and the Lampblacks, right?
Not at war with the Crows. They are definitely at war with the Lampblacks. The Crows are kind of neutral in the whole thing.
Right. So, I probably imagine that it was actually with. Yeah, I'll choose the Lampblacks then for now. That it was while I was. Maybe going to because the fencing school needed some repairs done or something, and it was kind of new in town. I didn't really know where to go at the time, and I was went to, let's say, the wrong shop on the wrong side of town, and ended up because they immediately saw, oh, this guy must be with the Red Sashes, and I kind of got in a fight with them, and kind of accidentally, well, not accidentally, but got in a fight and killed someone. And the Red Sashes were like, yeah, it happens. We kind of we don't mind. But the Lampblacks were immediately like, okay, he's with the enemy. Screw it.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, you're pretty tight knit with the Red Sashes, so the Lampblacks singling you out seems good. I mean, not good for you, but it makes sense. Yeah, so that's a -1 status with them.
Right.
So, we did your Vice. We've got your nickname there, Bandy Boy. Anything else we haven't covered? Any closing statements about Bandy Boy here?
Not that I can really think of. I mean,
Did you like give us the look, or was that?
Yeah, what do you kind of look like? How do you sort of?
I imagine him kind of. I've seen the picture I found is like a very 16th century Italian vibe going on. Like he's wearing a doublet. He's got kind of. He kind of had to adjust his clothing because it's not quite as warm up here. But the current is a lot slower. But it's he still kind of somehow manages to keep tights on, and there's still what they're called in German, they call Pluderhose, and the big stripy pants on the thighs, and a nice fancy hat, and he carries generally around like a rapier and dagger in typical Southport style.
Yeah, so you're like, are you classically trained? Are you distressified in your fencing style?
A very distressified fighter.
All right, cool. I like that. Well then, who's next? Bingo?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was supposed to put his name down in the thing, but yeah.
No, that's fine. Yeah, tell me about Bingo then.
I mean, I guess in the essence of it, he's a pit fighter or a gladiator. Anyway, he is now. But he's travelled pretty far away from Eruvia. Growing up as a slave, kind of following around these famous pit fighters with his family, and learning the trade kind of from like sight. Sometimes he put on performances with his brothers and his sisters. Makes a small amount of coin, but never a high life for him. And then when given the chance, his family fell on hard times. What does a father do? But with his son's permission, he sells him into slavery to save the rest of his brothers and sisters. And to a good place, to a good. I don't know what you call them, but I don't know the lore of Eruvia too much. But I imagine I kind of get the idea that fighting over there is kind of maybe a bit more glamorous, a little bit more entertaining. So that's where Bingo kind of like learned his trade, And when he had enough money, he bought himself free and sailed on to make a mark in a bigger city where, the sun isn't so hot and demons don't rule the government, or as they say anyway. He doesn't quite believe that. So yeah, I guess a freed Eruvian slave turned pit fighter, working in the kind of like the really dark underbelly of the city, kind of making money in these fights. You know, blood money. That's the essence of it. But I might be wrong.
No, that sounds pretty good. There is one thing about being a
Absolutely.
Rudian that's important to me.
And what's that?
I'm getting that right. Hang on, let me make sure this is the right one. I might be confusing it.
We were thinking of the.
I'm taking the Tycheros. Never mind.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because that's the one where people will hate you.
Yeah, well, you have like some sort of mark that makes you look weird.
Yeah, that's the one where they think you're literally demons. Whilst I think Eruvia is just they think demons rule the land, but not the not the actual people. No, they're just kind of like bronze-skinned and black-haired, I think.
Okay, that's good with me. So you were sold as a pit fighter.
Well, I imagine as a child he was probably sold to a pit fighter, like as a kind of like a I don't know what you call it, like a servant or a protege. But yeah, learning the trade basically.
So they kind of like was this like in the area you're from, sort of a general practice, like a family gets in debt or something, or is there just a general culling where you have to give up a son or something? Or a daughter?
I'd imagine like starvation, hard times, and an opportunity. And I think I like to think that Kuri's always been kind of a little bit fascinated with the whole lifestyle, growing up around them and seeing the glory they get. He's kind of almost begs his dad to sell him into this job.
Okay. And well, so you were a pit fighter, and how did you end up in the dusk? Did you fight your way free?
That's something he doesn't like talking about, but I suppose I can talk about it. Would it be? I think it would be pretty unfeasible to fight himself free. I mean, it's not the Gladiator film. He's not just gonna fight enough so they get free. But I think he would make enough money and have enough friends betting on him, setting up deals and stuff, that he'd kind of be able to buy his way free with friends.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
No, yeah.
Almost escape and hop onto a ship as soon as he can and get away from, this dusty place. Because, I mean, I might like to think there's not too many people in Eruvia. The crowd's not as big as you'd like.
Okay.
And he's heard things of Duskfall. Mostly good things. He doesn't listen to the bad. But I'm sure he was disappointed, though.
Cool. And yeah, mostly ass kickery in your dots. Some sway, so you know how to wheel and deal a little bit?
I mostly picked sway because I want him to be able to win over a crowd more than anything. That's what he loves doing.
Cool.
Getting cheers, getting just winning over the common man with his kind of maybe not charm but his style.
Yeah, yeah, okay, I see that now.
And that's why he's got prowl as well.
Yeah. Yeah, doing some acrobatic tricks.
I hope it's okay if my ability I picked up the Devil's Footsteps from Lurk as the veteran ability. I don't know if you can start with a veteran ability. I don't. It isn't saying no, but if that's not cool with you, I can pick something else.
I just I don't mind it at all. No, I don't know if there maybe is a mention of a rule of that kind, but I also just don't mind. John Harper can deal with it.
Yeah, it totally fits him. That Devil's Footsteps is just being all over to do something stupid and dangerous.
No, that's cool. Okay, so that is your let's talk about next your friends. Who's your close buddy?
Who's breathing very heavily into the microphone?
Oh, sorry, my bad.
It's just getting louder and louder each time. I was worried.
Was it? Oh.
And you're echoing a little bit too. I don't know if anyone else was hearing that, but I was just getting a bit scared.
No, I think
He's coming for you.
So, who's your close friend?
Well, I hope it's cool with you. I took the core friends, and I was actually watching your stream, and you're like, you're doing character creation. You're like, all right, you can make your own friends up, and I was like, shit, yeah, I hope that's cool.
Oh, you
So
you made up a bunch?
I made up, I think three or four of them out of the five.
No, that's awesome.
But you can take a look and see if they're cool. If that, I try not to make them too powerful.
I mean, I do not. Yeah, I don't. I'm cool with all of it.
I stuck with Mercy, a cold killer. She's the one it's in the book, and she's my close friend, like a bestie, if you will.
Okay.
But I mean, it's more of an admiration of talent in one another. I don't know. Maybe there's something there, a spark, but I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, she's your crucial connection that gets you into the underworld, right? And so again, we'll mark your 1 coin for your past crimes and misdeeds. And
yeah. I actually went through and did these while you were doing it with I think it was Sam. I think you were doing Sam.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the intention.
I hope it's cool with you, but I think for the 2-faction one, I went with Lord Skurlock. That's who Mercy works for, like a kind of like a sellsword for him.
Oh.
She's pretty good at her job, so I guess she'd have it in with someone who's rich and powerful.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
If that's cool with you.
No, that's cool with me. I just need to add Lord Skurlock now to my factions if I haven't made him yet either. I mean, he's his own faction all by himself.
Yeah. So I imagine that maybe Mercy has got him doing some work for Lord Skurlock if he needs the money, or kind of trying to sell him as like maybe another sellsword or someone for Skurlock to take on the more dangerous jobs.
So she talked you up for Skurlock, and you've like invested a lot of your resources into building up that relationship.
Yeah, like jobs, patronage. I guess like keeping an eye out for things he might be interested in. He's not really. I mean, Bingo doesn't know too much about artifacts and all this Eldritch business, but
okay,
he has a keen eye at least for that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That is. I mean, it's weird. Because it's Lord Skurlock. How deep into that whole ghost business are you, or do you just murder people for him?
I'm deep enough that the coin's good. I'll give you that.
So you're just good at kicking ass, and you just don't ask questions. You do whatever and take whatever he needs for you.
Yeah, man's gonna earn a living. Although it's not exactly what he'd want to do, but
right.
It's what he needs to do.
And
he doesn't care about ghosts. I mean, he's from Aruvia. They've got some crazy stuff over there.
Right. Yeah. So and you probably come prepackaged with a little bit of like desensitization to the whole thing.
I mean, what's cooler than like punching ghosts in the face?
Yeah. So, your rival. Who's your rival?
I think for my rival, let me hop back. I picked. I made up a new one, Gangrous, a loan shark, and he is in heavy with the billhooks. I think I said.
Billhooks.
Yeah, the billhooks.
Cool.
And heavy with them. And what I was thinking for that is that when Bingo came over, he probably would have been working kind of pretty hard with the billhooks because they're the guys in Dustful who run the underground pit fights. Dog fights, extortion rackets, that kind of thing. And I mean, not only did he accrue probably a large debt with his lifestyle that clearly wasn't going to work in the long run, borrowing money and that kind of thing, and even the fights can't kind of pay it out. And then there might have been an incident where Bingo took a little bit of offense to them using dogs for their pit fighting. He's a bit of an animal rights guy. Which I'll get into with his vice later on. But, the Billhooks didn't look kindly to having a lot of their favourite war dogs being set free, so that didn't help add to the debt, did it? So, -2. And a loan shark who definitely wants to get his investment back. If that's cool with you.
That sounds great. Yeah, I was just making notes. So you got in deep, and you got in trouble even further because you don't like dogfighting rings. And
I didn't. I mean, he didn't really know they occurred until or saw one after one of his fights, and then
yeah.
yeah.
And okay, bill hooks.
But it is a problem for him because if a pit fighter is in wrong with people who run the damn pit fighting rings, it's
right. It's not. They're not long for the world usually.
yeah. Hence, Scarlock.
All right. No, that's all. That's all good. I got pretty much anything I would want out of that. And yeah. So let's talk about your vice.
I guess this is technically an obligation. So it's an obligation, and there's a small animal shelter, kind of in the middle of one of the slightly poorer districts. I was thinking Crowsfoot. It's called Big Bessons. Well, it's run by Bessons. It doesn't really have a name. I mean, it's not like the shop you can walk into, but it's just like a quite a down and out dark animal shelter, probably in a basement somewhere, where all the mangy mutts and stray cats and whatever else that finds its way into Dosful that doesn't get turned into meat kind of ends up. And he kind of almost sponsors it with as much money as he can. He kind of stays there some days, and that's how he likes to blow off steam after a fight. Just stroke a dog, look after them, feed some, try and rescue them if he can. And he's added a fair amount to the shop himself. So yeah, he's an animal guy.
Do you have an idea about what part of the city that place is in?
I was thinking probably the north side of Crowsfoot.
Okay, so on the north of Crowsfoot. I can get behind that. And what faction have you gotten friendly with as a result of Bessons?
Well, I was thinking the Grey Cloaks, actually.
So that's the group of bluecoats that have gone full crime.
I did not realize that.
Oh, okay.
I read that wrong. I read the description and went honorable bravos, and then I just read that thing and they run pit fighting arenas. That's not going to work out. All right, that's definitely not going to work out. I don't know why I'd be in good with them.
So yeah, let's. I mean, that's just
I
a
was
short
trying to think of a faction that would be cool with me, like rescuing dogs, but all of these guys are kind of dicks.
I think there might be one for you, actually. That
You can give me a recommendation.
Yeah. Let me see if I can remember them. It's
It was something like the Grey Cloaks, but it's not the
The Lost.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
This is a group of street toughs and ex-soldiers dedicated to protecting the downtrodden and the hopeless.
That would work, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they're all like formerly vicious fox killers and Imperial soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah, people who have kind of there's one or two factions that are kind of like street vigilantes trying to do the right thing. But that seems like the one.
Yeah, I think he probably would have. Maybe like Monday they were bringing in some animals or.
Oh, we got you sighing again, Jerry.
You're breathing again, man.
Oh, but sorry, it was just one big breath. Doesn't happen often.
That's cool. Yeah, the loss would work, I think. Maybe he just did some work for them. I mean, I suppose you could see the cause. It isn't like people being trapped in workhouses. I mean, if they were fighting, that's probably cool, but, just sawing wood or whatever, that's not his style.
I could get into them being involved in some fighting too. I mean, they're ex-soldiers and street toughs, right?
Yeah, I can see that. So maybe he did a bit of maybe showmanship or entertaining for him or whatever. Or help them, what is it? They want to destroy these workhouses. You can get behind that.
Oh yeah, so like, well, let's say there are people with like, who are training up, who are doing a couple of things for these underground pit fighting, right? So there's the pit fighting where you're like a guy and you come up and you show up and you're gonna fight, right? And you're on your own name or maybe somebody is training you to be there. But then there's where do all these dogs come from, and it seems like people die a lot. Like, where do they keep getting fighters? Oh, maybe there are people sold into slavery, or there are, dog fighting mills, right? And that could be something that you get in good with them on, right? Freeing some slave fighters who are just kept there to be fodder, right, for a good show on Saturday, or breaking up a dog mill where they're just gonna get these dogs to have them fight for whatever reason, right?
And then put them down anyway. Yeah, he'd be up for that. I'd say he's got his own code. I mean, I wouldn't call him honourable, but he's definitely got a code.
Yeah.
And, you want to choose to fight, that's cool. He's down for that, but don't make a dog do it.
I didn't think you could get any worse than puppy mills, but I guess puppy murder mills are worse.
That's how you make it worse. I like that. And they're tier 1 and weak.
Yes.
So nowhere to go but up for them.
I'm sure I can help each other out. And I don't know. I was trying to think of it's just as hard to think of someone who would be upset by me. Happy about me saving dogs. Who would be upset by that? So I was thinking, and this is a bit of a stretch, but maybe the Hive. They do a lot of trading and contraband, and I imagine that animals probably fits under that, right? Kind of exotic ones from far off lands. And it doesn't matter who they are. He's probably, Bingo might get a little bit drunk, might get a little bit obnoxious. Maybe one of his favorite pets at the shop is about to be put down. He goes out, rescues a load of these, Eruvian black panthers or whatever the hell they're called.
Sure.
I can't imagine the Hive would be happy about that. But I don't know. Only a -1, but I don't know if that's cool with you. I was just trying to think of something. Unless you have another idea. It's just...
I mean, there's nothing that keeps the Hive from being connected with that stuff. I can't think of a...
one that really, really fits, yeah.
Let me just give a once-over. I think the Hive is fine. Like, it's nothing to keep them... Like your explanation was good. Like they could get involved in that. Especially trading strange animals and stuff.
And, yeah.
I mean, unless it's just another scumbag gang, right? But the Hive is pretty interesting.
It could be someone who's putting the squeeze on Besson and his animal shelter, for extortion. That'd work just as well.
Then the Hive does... Oh, and he's in Crow's Foot? Yeah, the Hive does fit.
Yeah, is that cool?
Yeah, he fits for an entirely different reason. I'm gonna keep that one to myself, though.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
I just need to make a note.
Sign.
Oh dear. Well, unless there's anything else. Yeah, we've done friends, vices, abilities, all that.
Yeah, any so Bingo, this alias, what's that about?
I suppose that's just a stage name. Maybe like a father or grandfather. He basically heard this word in a different language and really liked the sound of it. So he kind of like started bullshitting about how he meant all this stuff in Eruvian from another language. What does bingo mean? It means nothing.
Yeah.
Okay.
The whole thing is like every now and then when you're a pit fighter, you would hold up a number and then people would mark it off with their cards.
Is anyone else hearing that echo, or is it just me?
Oh, I don't have it.
I don't hear an echo.
No?
Is it? I'm going to quickly leave the call and jump back. Sorry, you're talking in doubles and I can't hear a thing. Hang on a second.
That's fine. All better?
I think that's better. Sorry, I could hear the breathing even though I was outside the call. It was scary.
What?
Oh, you're still echoing. What the? Why is Skype so messed up? I'm sorry. I don't want to keep anyone.
No, that's cool. Is it everybody echoing?
No, it's just Lordbog, I think.
Oh,
Really?
weird.
Yeah, you guys, Soam and Justin, you're both fine. What I'll do is I'll quick.
Well, let's just do, yeah, let's just wrap it up, for
Yeah.
Did that
you.
fix it?
Can you say something else?
So did that fix it?
No. What I'll do is I'll restart my Skype in a second, if that's cool. I'll
That's
just finish up.
Yeah, let's just do your last bit. So yeah, your look, any other like details?
Yeah. Mischievous eyes, quite wild hair, Peruvian. Really doesn't really care for it too much. Kind of like a lean, maybe like ropey body, like quite tall, but lanky. And he swears the stupidest shit he can, especially when he fights. Otherwise, he's not exactly hard to pick out of a crowd. He
Yeah.
wants people to know exactly who he is, which sometimes it works and sometimes it really doesn't help him.
Yeah, this character picture is pretty flamboyant, right?
I looked for I seriously 4 hours for a picture of him, and I found that's just steampunk Deathstroke, and I'm like, okay, I'll make it black and white. No one will know. He does have the spear though. That's what he uses is a nice long spear.
Okay. I like it. Yeah. You're kind of it's a good counterpart to Bandino, I think.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we'll get on to Echo, and
Mhm.
you can try to make Skype work, I guess.
I'll sort it out.
Good luck to you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Milos Dava, Echo.
Mhm. Yeah.
Tell me, so you're a lurk.
Yeah.
What's your heritage? Where are you from?
The Dagger Isles.
Dagger Isles. Tell me about being in the Dagger Isles.
Yeah. Well, my family, I grew up, right? My family was like a group. Like it says people in the Dagger Isles like don't have like lightning barriers. They find other ways to deal with the ghosts, right? So I think my family, the place I grew up, the tribe, it's probably like a kind of like a tribal group. Like it's just like a small group of like people, and they basically what their thing is how they keep the ghosts at bay is like every some period, some like determined period of time, like a child will be born will be like marked, and then then once the child reaches a certain age, they like sacrifice them to the ghosts to stave off the ghosts for like another generation or whatever. Yeah. Basically
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and basically I was one of the kids like set to be like sacrificed. That's how it works.
Sacrifice. So you were you were marked to be sacrifice?
Yeah.
Well, you were clearly alive. So what happened with that?
Yeah. Well, one time I think when I like when my like family or whatever was like sailing, like one day like across the sea, like a great like storm blew in and the ship was like destroyed and lost at sea, and I wound up like washing up. Probably somewhere in the Empire, right? We'll say just probably Dustfall. I ended up watching. I was like the lone survivor.
Okay.
That's how I escaped that pretty much.
So you were destined for sacrifice, but then fate somehow intervened to also preserve your life. So, do you still? I mean, you were how young when that happened?
I'm probably pretty young, probably 7 or so, something pretty young.
And you're a lone survivor. Do you know any of that crap you just said?
I don't think so. I don't think I do.
Okay.
Well, at least I don't know. I definitely don't know about the sacrifice thing, right? And I definitely have some early memories of how the family worked and everything, right?
So you maybe have strange childhood memories that you don't really understand.
Yeah.
What's the mark?
I think it's just this weird it's this weird it's like a scar, right?
Okay.
And it's kind of like in the shape of like kind of almost like kind of like vaguely like a handprint like across my like face
Okay.
across the whole like thing.
And so landed in the dusk and a street urchin then from then on.
Yeah,
So you've just been scrambling and scraping and
pretty much.
hustling since then, basically.
Yep.
Okay, weird ghost baby. I like that. And what's your special ability? You said you took the.
It's what was it called? It's Ghost Veil.
You can turn
That's a good
into a
one.
weird shadow ghost thing.
Yeah. Which I think fits, right?
Yeah.
'Cause it, like yeah.
So people from the Dagger Isles would probably maybe recognize your sign, maybe if they have like if this was many decades ago, if they have some knowledge of at least this strange cult you were part of or whatever, and say I remember the marked child who was taken by the sea or whatever.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. Okay. Oh, also he can turn into a ghost monster man. So there we go. Who's your close friend?
It's Telda, a beggar.
Okay. And so Telda got you into the life that you live now. Scoundrel
Yeah.
for hire.
Yeah, I think she was probably someone like an older like street kid or whatever, and she kind of like was my like a mentor, right, growing up.
Okay. Okay.
That's how it worked.
So how much older is she than you?
Um, she's not like too much older. She's probably like 6 years older or something like that. She's like a big sister to me basically.
Okay. And so you got one coin to start for living the life.
Oh yeah, let me mark that.
There you go. And yeah, so you get +1 status with a faction that Telda vouched for you with, or you can spend that coin to take +2.
Sweet. No, I keep the coin, and I've already decided the faction. It's what is it? What I say? What are they called? It's the Dimmer Sisters.
Okay, the weird, also ghost ladies.
Yep.
So you've done a little work for the Dimmer Sisters.
Yeah.
How many sisters have you met?
Ooh.
1, 2. That's a part of their faction, right? They deal in ghosts, but they live in an old rundown house, and the big mystery about the Dimmer Sisters is nobody knows how many sisters there are.
Yeah, I think I've mainly dealt with just like the one who like who's like the person who deals with like people. This is the one that deals with people on the outside.
Okay.
But I have seen like a few like one or two others, like a few of them.
Okay. Have you ever done anything especially weird with the Dimmer Sisters?
Mm.
Or do they just have you sort of do, steal this, bring it back, sneak in there, see about that? Or do they have you handle truly weird things?
I think currently, I think mostly right now it's just like a little like it's just like a little bit on the lightly weird side, right? It's like they want me to like like sneak in here, steal that, like listen to this, like
Okay.
like learn like write down what this like dude like what this dude says when he's like praying to this altar or whatever,
Okay.
that kind of thing.
All right. And your rival, who is that?
Oh, that's definitely Lord Skurlock. Or sorry, no, that's the faction. No, it's no, sorry, yeah, it's Rosalind Kellis, who's a noble.
A noble, and they're connected with Lord Skurlock.
Yeah.
So how did you get cross with this noble person?
I think maybe hmm. I like did a job or something, right? I had to sneak in somewhere and like plant some like fake evidence. They got her in like trouble with like the law or something.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think basically she something went a little bit wrong and she figured out and she like dug around in her contacts and found out who did it,
Okay.
right?
And so that's sort of tanked your reputation with Skurlock.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
known as a
she was
troublemaker.
like connected with him. Yeah.
And maybe you know something you shouldn't have. You shouldn't know, or
Yeah, maybe.
you don't know what you know, but that you shouldn't know it. Yeah, whatever. The tangled webs. Uh, and so, what's your vice then?
Oh, mine it's in the weird category. It's yeah, it's the hooded proprietor at
Excellent.
the like yeah. And yeah, and it's in quotes meditation.
Okay. What the hell does that mean?
I think we'll find out, Justin.
So you go to the hooded proprietor to meditate.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, here you do have to answer two questions about that. I mean, if you want to hold on to that and like do some reveal, I'm okay with that. If you want to do your faction statuses then, but
Hmm?
I mean,
On the what?
you have fun with one faction, getting a +1 status with them.
Ah, okay.
I can keep things vague, but who do you get along with for having done your vice, or somebody you've met at also at the hooded proprietor?
It's this part. Give me a second. I missed that. So I think a second ago. Factions where you at? Hmm. Looking I was checking some stuff. Give me a minute.
Sure.
Oh, maybe like the Deathland scavengers, like some of them hang out there, right?
Okay. So some of them deal with the hooded proprietor.
Yeah.
So you've gotten along well with scavengers you've met.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, we can still be vague about the meditation for now, but have they tried to recruit you or something? Have you done any work for them?
Yeah, I think maybe I've helped them out occasionally, right? Like because I still remember I still remember vaguely a couple things from my a couple things my family did like about like ghosts from my childhood, right?
Okay.
So I think I helped them out with that kind of stuff, right? Because they're like like when if they think they need like extra like protection or help, they'll get me to like come along. It's +1 status with them.
Yeah.
That's what I've been doing.
And if we thought that bookkeeping benders were bad, once on a meditation bender, you had a run-in with the members of a faction.
Yeah.
So it's a rough crowd here.
Oh god. Yeah. Yeah. I think maybe it's like the blue cloaks, right? I ran into like some higher up in like the blue cloaks at the hooded proprietor, right? And he obviously doesn't want people to like know. He goes like he he's involved with that stuff,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
So maybe it's like yeah, so that kind of thing.
Yeah, and
Right?
you've got
I
this,
walked in on him at the wrong time or something.
so you kind of got this reputation now for the Dimmer sisters and knowing things you shouldn't fucking know, and sometimes those things get spilled out in the street and everything. So yeah, okay, I've got a good beat on that then.
Cool.
And your vice. We already talked about your vice. That's what we were literally just doing. What's your alias? Anything special about that alias? Echo. Did you get it? Was it given to you by somebody else, or?
Yeah, I think right. I think maybe it was given to me by Telda, right? She was probably like the first person to see me do my weird ghost thing, right? And that's when she like gave me the nickname.
Okay.
Yeah.
And anything else? What do you look like? How do you dress?
Oh, right, hang on. Oh, I'm sorry, my door. I'll be back. Oh, hang on.
Okay.
I can't believe it was Roll20. I was so scared. I quit Skype. I could still hear him talking about his character. And I was like, no way.
That's funny.
Because I thought I'd fixed Roll20 where I turned off like receiving voice and stuff, but I hadn't.
Yeah, sometimes it turns itself back on. It's weird as shit. I've had that happen to me too sometimes.
Tilted black lenses. Well, I like all our characters. I'm disappointed somewhat that we don't have any tricorn hats, but I'll deal with it.
No, we didn't. Oh, well, we're not playing Bloodborne, dude. Come on. Well, not yet, anyway.
Yes, yet.
Although with a Whisper and this cult guy, it won't be long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, big Ludwig.
The whole team is pretty multicultural, actually.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Cool.
So
Yeah,
what's the last-
we were just getting your look and any other things you wanted to say.
So I usually wear like a mask, right, to cover like my weird like scar face, right? And it's like kind of like a blank like like white mask with like lenses over the eyes, like built in like goggles things, like with like tinted like like dark tinted like lenses.
Okay.
Yeah. And also wear like I always wear for like the intimidation factor. Also wear like an old like dusty like tailcoat I found, like a butler's uniform.
Okay.
I'm basically really like, and I'm also really like thin and like scrawny.
So you look like a
That's pretty
butler.
much it. Yeah.
Okay.
But
But you're a thief.
mask.
I mean, it's a good disguise. I mean,
All right. Okay, so we'll take a break there, and we'll come back in a few minutes and start getting into the factions we're dealing with and what our situation is, and get working on a score.
Nice.
All right, we'll see you guys in 5.
Sure.
Are we supposed to stay, or should I go get a drink?
Do whatever you want. I'm gonna walk away.
I'm gonna get a cup of tea for now.
Oh, very British. I didn't know.